that you put everything that you want to change in writing, so that when we go to the technical working group, that would be considered. Okay, thank you.
Yes. Madam Chair, all the comments and observations are contained in our position papers submitted to the committee po, and also to BMB, to our central office po. Nandun po lahat po sa position paper po namin.
Thank you. I just want to announce the presence of Senator Sen.Imee Marcos and Senator Robin Padilla, the physical presence, thank you very much, and the virtual presence of Congresswoman Camille Villar. Thank you. So we go now to Senator Sen.Imee. Would you like to make a manifestation?
Yes, thank you very much for the support elicited for the bill. And certainly the LGUs have been unable to conduct the required testing for the PAMB, even if we have made monthly efforts. And the solutions like the use of Vigormin in all septic facilities has been sporadic and irregular. Also, there are national government offices that continue to spew actually dirt and manure into the Poway Lake. So this has always been a problem because the BFAR and the BAI also have facilities around the lake. This really hasn't helped the cause, although we are very cognizant of their contributions to livelihood. So perhaps with the conversion into a protected area, we will finally see the institutionalization of regular testing, greater support for the Vigormin and other septic facilities, and finally, alternative grazing and fishery areas that are less contaminating and perhaps located in other in other more appropriate places. Thank you.
Magandang umaga po, aming ina ng Senado, ang aming pong tagapagtanggol dito, Senator Cynthia Villar, at sa napakaganda po na aming tinitingala, Senator Sen.Imee Marcos. Magandang umaga po sa lahat. Tulad po ng lagi nating sinasambit, kabilang po sa ating kolektibo at individual na responsibilidad ang pangangalaga ng ating kapaligiran at kalikasan, sapagkat ito po ang nag-iisa nating tahanan. Tayo po ay nagagalak na sa tulong po ng mas pinalawak, expanded na National Integrated Protected Area System o RA 11038 ay mas mapaigting natin ang pangangalaga at pagprotekta sa ating biological diversity at ecosystem sa bansa. Makakaasa po kayo na patuloy na magiging marubdob ang aking suporta sa anumang panukalang batas para sa ating inang kalikasan at kapaligiran. Maraming salamat po. Ako po ay handang-handa ng makinig po sa ating pagdinig. Maraming salamat.
Thank you very much, Senator Robin Padilla. Now we continue. We will hear from the Chief of the Land Classification Division, National Mapping Resource and Information Authority or NAMRIA, Forester Beata Batadlan, virtually. Where is Namria? Wala. Okay, we go on to Director Joseph Francisco Ortega, Regional Director, Department of Tourism, Region 1. Virtually.
Good morning, Senator Cynthia Villar, Senator Sen.Imee Marcos, Senator Mark Villar, to our House of Representatives, to our family in the DNR. For the DOT Regional Office 1, we have established a bird watching trail around the areas of Paway and the said areas that is in coverage with the bill. We are now in the procedure of bringing in international birders, hopefully from Taiwan and Japan and from Europe, so that they can see the wonders of the birds that we have there in the province of Ilocos Norte. So far, our market and product development team have been able to create tour packages that tour operators have been selling abroad and domestic, which will increase tourist travel in Paway and the province of Ilocos Norte. So with that being said, we fully support all the bills and we hope that there would be a very good development within the areas of Paway Lake so that we can enhance our tourist destinations as well as bring in more tourist arrivals to the province of Ilocos Norte. Thank you very much and good morning.
Now to our next protected area under SB 1536, the expanded Las Piñas Parañaque Wetland Park Act. So we hear now from Forester Francisco B. Feliciano of the BMB.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Chair. With regards with the proposed expansion of the boundaries for Las Piñas Parañaque Wetland Park, so the total area as per legislation under E-NIPAS Act or RA 11038, we have around 181.63 hectares. And then for the proposed expansion of the Las Piñas Parañaque Wetland Park with a total area of 1,761.87, which exclusive of the existing area of the legislated Las Piñas Parañaque Wetland Park. So this is located in Barangays Manuyo, Uno, Daniel Pajardo, Elias, Aldana, and Ilaya in the city of Las Piñas, and Barangay La Huerta and San Dionisio in the city of Parañaque. So its biological significance in terms of its physical features, the Las Piñas Parañaque Wetland Park covers around 175 hectares of wetland ecosystems. This consists of two islands. We have the Freedom and Long Islands. So the two islands are composed of mangrove forest ponds and lagoons, mud flats, salt marshes, and mixed beach forest. Mangrove forest is the thickest and most diverse among the remaining mangrove areas within the Manila Bay. So it has 114 hectares of mud flats, which serves as a feeding ground for wild birds. So in terms of fauna, the Las Piñas Parañaque Wetland Park hosts two threatened species, the endemic Philippine duck or the Anas lusonica and the migratory Chinese egret or Egretta leupotes. This also hosts 10% of the global population of the black-winged stilt. And of course, it also harbors 84 species of birds, 41 of which are migratory. And in terms, there are 37 species of macrobenthos, 8 species of fishes within the Las Piñas Parañaque Wetland Park. In terms of its flora, it has 11 species of mangrove species, covering about 36 hectares. So in terms of its significance when it comes to sociocultural, the marine resources around Las Piñas Parañaque Wetland Park have been the main source of livelihood for the fishermen in nearby barangays. Ecotourists, particularly bird watchers, have recently been visiting the area, This brings hope that the fees paid by visitors will sustain the protection and conservation of the protected area. These are the reasons for its eventual expansion, and the Biodiversity Management Bureau find it paramount to support this bill to be expanded. So the shoreline, lagoons, mudflats, and mangrove communities in Las Piñas Parañaque Wetland Park serves as a critical feeding and roosting ground for the endemic Philippine duck, which is an IUCN listed vulnerable species, along with other resident and migratory water birds. So the protection of the Las Piñas Parañaque Wetland Park, as well as other important wetland habitats within Manila Bay, is our commitment to the Ramsar Convention and other international environmental convention and treaties which the Philippines is a signatory to. Of course, to enhance efforts to conserve and to promote the sustainable use of internal wetland and other coastal habitats of importance of migratory species worldwide, and the overall ecological character of the ecosystems of the Las Piñas Parañaque Wetland Park. The proposed expansion is supported by the science-based recommendations from the studies from the Ecosystems Research and Development Bureau on the determination of the extent of appropriate expansion for the Las Piñas Parañaque Wetland Park. The one innovative company as commissioned by the ERDB on the impact of reclamation projects in Las Piñas Parañaque Wetland Park, and following the provision of up to 3-kilometer radius from the complex habitats, as stated in the Manila Bay Sustainable Development Master Plan. Of course, various studies conducted leads to the discovery of a new sardine species within the Manila Bay, Sardinella pacifica, and identification of 67 species of macrobenthic invertebrates shows the bay is a spawning area of sardines and remains fishing ground of artisanal fisher folk. The Las Piñas Parañaque Wetland Park, PAMBI, or the Protected Area Management Board, will be enabled to effectively manage allowable activities within the expansion area, thereby ensuring the maintenance of the natural coastal ecosystem and the overall ecological character of the Las Piñas Parañaque Wetland Park. Considering the primary concern of the MBSD-MP and the findings of the ERDB Commission study on the potential interference of certain projects such as reclamation on water circulation and tidal movement, the proposed boundary expansion shall help preserve natural water circulation that significantly defines the natural regimes, including distribution, diversity, and composition of species, sedimentation, nutrient cycling, and salinity. This shall also help locate large projects away from the coastline, hence minimizing effects to water circulation, tidal movements, the reshaping of intertidal mudflats, and the sedimentation of estuaries, as well as on flooding regime. It will also fortify food mitigation mechanisms to afford better protection to our vulnerable coastal communities in the area. And lastly, this will ensure that ecological integrity of both its land and water is well preserved and managed, and that this shall safeguard said biodiversity critical areas from the tensions of developments. That's all, Honorable Chair, for the Las Piñas Parañaque Wetland Park proposed expansion.
Thank you very much, OIC Chief of the BMP, Forester Francisco Feliciano. We'll now hear from the Regional Executive Director of NCR, Jacqueline Kaankan.
Good morning, the Honorable Madam Chair, Senator Villar, and all the other members of the Committee on Environment and Natural Resources and Climate Change. So I have with me on board via the WebEx platform is my PASU, Protected Area Superintendent Aida Esguerra, and the Chief of the Coastal Resource Management, Justin De Ramos. So we have, upon careful review of the proposed Senate Bill number 1536, the DNR-NCR finds that all provisions of the stipulated therein uphold the interests of the environment, and we concur with the Republic, and it concurs with the Republic Act number 11038. Nonetheless, this office respectfully submits specific comments and recommendations, one of which is on Section 3 on the declaration and scope. The technical description in the proposed bill refers only to the area for expansion of the LPPWP. So the NCR respectfully suggests that the said section should be replaced and the technical description be amended to reflect both the existing boundaries of the LPPWP as specified in RA 11038 and the area of expansion in the proposed bill. And the DNR-NCR commits to prepare the amended proposed technical description. So the proposed provision will read as follows. Declaration and scope pursuant to and in accordance with the NIPAS Act as amended, Section 5 of RA 11038, specifically the extent of the LPPWP is hereby amended from the word current would be included, the word current, from the current 181.63 hectares into 1,941.750 hectares, extending seaward from its current shoreline. And the word would be revised to hence, the technical description of the proposed boundaries, including the area of expansion, is the following. So we will provide the technical description of the current and then the proposed as well. And then on Section 4, on the transfer of title, the boundaries of the expansion would also cover a portion of the land under the TCT number 7311 owned by the PRA, in addition to the lands covered as mentioned in the proposed bill under TCT number 7309 and 73112. In this regard, it would be prudent to include the land covered by the TCT, to mention it, number 7311, among the properties that shall be transferred, as it is within the boundaries of the proposed expansion. And then under Section 6, Paragraph E, on the prohibited acts, the proposed temporal fisheries management, such as a closed fishing season, in this section is important to ensure sustainability in the fisheries resources in Manila Bay. However, flexibility in determining the period, species, and spatial extent is important to effectiveness of this fisheries conservation method. It is proposed that the determination of the spatial extent, period covered, and species covered by this management method be determined by the PAMB, with recommendation from the BFAR, who is also a member of the PAMB, to ensure responsiveness to the fish stock health in the proposed protected area. So the proposed provision is recommended to read as follows. Section 6, Paragraph E, fishing during general peak spawning season of marine species such as but not limited to sardines, slipmouth, mullets, the PAMB, with recommendation from the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, shall determine the spatial extent and period covered and species covered by this specific paragraph. And then lastly, on Section 7, the allowable use, the expansion adds 1,761.87 hectares, extending seaward from LPPWP's current shoreline. Portion of the expansion area might be a part of a navigational routes, which needs to be still verified in Manila Bay. So this there is a need to consider as well in the allowable use or in the prohibited use, for that matter. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much.
So hanggang dito lang tayo mga tol. Maraming salamat sa panunood at patuloy na suporta. God bless you sa inyo lahat. Hanggang sa muli. Paalam.